Welcome back to Beyond the Post with Rob Dunwood and Bodie Grimm. This is part 2 of our conversation with Los Angeles-based gaming and lifestyle social media personality Lamarr Wilson. And as part of the conversation, Lamarr gives us his practical tips on everything from posting on multiple platforms to getting sponsors for your content. If you haven't listened to part 1 of this interview, you might want to check that out first. If you're ready for part 2, Lamarr starts us off by giving us his impressions of the Apple Vision Pro. Join us for our part 2 behind the post conversation with Lamarr Wilson.
You have an Apple Vision Pro, and I wanted to ask you, do you think that the Apple Vision Pro is going to change the way we create or consume digital media?
Not in its current iteration.
Okay.
And that's somebody who, I have a relationship with Apple, but I paid for it. So just so you all know, it's not sitting there. It wasn't a review unit. So I paid for it, and I'm not disappointed by it. I still use it, but here's what I think. I think the best thing I like about the Apple Vision Pro is the immersive video. And there's 2 types. So there's the put it on and it looks like you're in a theater. You go, you have that kind of, where it looks like there's an IMAX screen in front of you. I think that's amazing. And I've watched several movies in that mode. I think that'll be fine. But I think the one that, and I think they are calling it immersive video, is the one where they had a one with Alicia Keys where you put it on and you're in the studio with her. Now they have these special cameras you can see around the studio, but it's like she's right there singing to you. So I may have watched that one 10, 15, 20 times, but the point is, like, I can see that revolutionizing sports. I'm watching the playoffs right now, and I'm just imagining, man, if they had those cameras. If Apple had that relationship, had those cameras up, I would pay premium to watch it like I'm on the court, like I'm sitting courtside to get that kind of immersive view. I'm thinking of concerts. So that's coming. I know Apple has a relationship with MLS. I think they have the rights. So I heard they're going to be testing that with soccer. That will get me into watching soccer because I want to see that technology at work. So no, in its current iteration, but I see where they're going.
Okay, that's good to go. Go ahead, Rob.
Staying on current, current events and current technology, TikTok may not be a thing in the United States in about 9-10 months, and a lot of people are doing a lot of people. There's basically 3 ways that people are reacting. One, they're just, TikTok's going to be here. It'll be fine. They're doing nothing. Then there's the opposite of that. People are completely freaked out. They don't know what to do. And then there's probably the right answer in the middle to where it's like, okay, if I haven't already diversified, maybe I probably should. You are on TikTok, you are on Instagram, you are on YouTube, and I would imagine some other things. What is your recommendation for creators who may have at this point only be on TikTok just because it's so hot, it's so viral, it is the thing that the kids are using, but if they haven't done anything else, what is your recommendation that they do?
Yeah, I really feel bad for and I mean this in the most positive way. I feel bad for the people who kind of blew up on TikTok because they didn't have to make anything else anywhere. If you got millions some people got 10, 20, 30 million plus on TikTok, why would you try to push on Snapchat or some other places? You're rocking it, right? But yeah, the reality is set that this is probably not going to be here. So diversification. Number 3, I upload to 6 different places every video. Now there's YouTube. Now you may see some of my TikToks that are not on YouTube Shorts, and that's because YouTube has a 1-minute limit, and sometimes some of my videos go over that. Instagram Reels let you do 1:30, and then TikTok lets you do 10 minutes, but I usually don't go over 1:30. So Snapchat and YouTube, it has a 1-minute lock, so they don't get some of my videos. I don't try to cut them further because it just takes the spirit out of the video. But yeah, I upload to 6 places, including my Facebook page, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and the last one is Threads, Instagram Threads. And so I just upload there, and I recommend people should always be diversifying anyway. But if you haven't done it, pick places that like even if you have a small audience there, this is the time to start. We got a year or less, probably less than a year now, unless these lawsuits hold it up. So this is happening. This is not it's happening. It's law. So, the worst thing that can happen is, okay, it gets delayed or somebody miraculously buys it, or it gets, presidents change and they cancel it, whatever. It's still a good thing for you that you've diversified into these other places. So it's not a bad thing at all to be posting elsewhere. TikTok has an amazing algorithm. Nothing can top it. But your content is, once you've made it. Just post it elsewhere. That's my thought process. I know it's harder for people who post using the TikTok camera, because then you got to find a way to take the watermark out and put it elsewhere. I don't post like that. I just post. I edit in Final Cut and then I upload it everywhere. That seems to work good for me.
Can you walk us through like an average video? So it's a minute and 30 seconds. That obviously does not take you a minute and 30 seconds. What's behind the scenes look like for a minute and 30-second video for you?
Yeah, so I film from my iPhone. That is my primary camera. I recently got a little bit more, a wireless mic that I put on my, so I got a little bit better with the sound. But I film it from, I press start and I don't turn it off until I'm done. And sometimes that's 3 minutes, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10. Just depends what I'm talking about. I know some people, it drives me crazy when I see some videos when I see their hand, like they in the edit, like they go and click each part that they make. So they end up editing 20 different clips. And I don't edit like that. I do one whole clip and I chop it up from there. It just seems to work better for me. But yeah, so like if I got some headphones I'm gonna be doing the next day or so, and so I let the camera run, I do my thing, I mess up or whatever, and I start over. I let it all stay in there, and then I just go in the Final Cut and slice it up how I want it to be. Hopefully, try to meet my goal time, and so the whole process. I mean, it's definitely under an hour unless I'm adding like a lot of. If I'm doing a voiceover video, that takes longer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I have to go in and just kind of match it with the clips. But I actually find the voiceover is more fun to do, because if I'm doing a vlog, I like those videos too. But there's times I can knock out a video in half hour and have it up. Sometimes less. If it's a one take video, that could be up in 15 minutes. So it just depends on the type of video, but it's not as long as when I was doing the other widescreen videos it definitely would take some hours, not all day. I always kept my videos pretty simple. They're not skits or 3 camera systems. I keep it very simple. Because I don't love editing. I've tolerated editing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like doing my own editing. But anything more intricate, I just don't do the kind of content to care. To care about that.
So you mentioned you use an iPhone. You have a little wireless microphone, so you sound better. I actually saw one of your videos where you were using like this Rode microphone that you plug into the bottom of your phone. I think you bought it because the old one that you were using had the lightning port on it. That's a video from a while back.
Yeah, I moved on to this one now. Yeah, Hollyland. I put this right on my shirt. And I saw Marquez, MKBHD, he was doing his car videos. I'm like, why does his sound so good? I thought he had a sound person. And because I know he's using his iPhone for those videos. I'm like, but how does he sound so good? And I saw that logo on his chest, and I was like, that's what I need to get. And okay. I've been super happy.
Yeah, I know you have a ring light.
I do.
I know I can't remember the name of this, but I know you have one of those things you can put your iPhone on that it'll turn and it'll track you if you move around the room.
Oh, that Belkin thing. I don't use that much, but yeah, I do have one of those. Yeah.
But the point I'm getting to is that you are creating videos that regularly get over 100,000 views, that often get over 1 million views. And you're just doing this on equipment that probably many of the people listening to this podcast have in their pocket or have access to on their laptop or their iPod or whatever.
That's been the point. That's why I do it like that. I again, coming from the education background, I try to keep things, what's that saying, that keep it simple, stupid. Like I try to keep it simple to show people that you can do the big productions. You can have the red camera like Marquez does, and definitely, I mean, his views reflect. I mean, yes, some people have crazy quality, but you can also have good quality with what you already have. Like most people have a phone, and like most phone, I just switched to it because I started doing videos while I was moving away from the camera. I'm like, okay, I need a microphone that goes with me. But the microphone on the iPhone is fine. So I also have a Google Pixel. Sometimes I use that for filming because I need to show something on my iPhone. That's fine. But yeah, I do it that way to show people like you just very inexpensive equipment. You can get started and be a creator, especially if you're doing short form, and just jump right into it.
Okay, so I've got one last question I want to ask. I think Bodie might have one more question. We're not going to try to keep you forever, but you are the CEO of Unboxings, and you get that you get that moniker for a reason, because you unbox a lot of stuff, and I mean you unbox a lot of stuff. So I know that a question you always get is, are you buying all that stuff, or are people sending you that stuff? And I know that it's a combination of the two, but then there's a question that always gets asked. Well, how do you get free stuff? How do you get brands to send you free stuff? Now, I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to preempt it. You will always say that is not the right question to be asking.
I would say
how
that
do you
to
get
you.
free stuff when you get started?
I would say that to you.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't say that to you.
Maybe not to me, but I've seen you say it to other folks.
If I'm trying to teach someone, yeah, because I'm like, they're missing the point.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how do I get free stuff so that I can be a Lamarr Wilson?
Okay. So in order to do it, it's honestly so simple. I learned from a kid. I remember years ago, this kid was in one of my lives, and he was with his parent. He was in one of my lives, Google Plus, and he was like 12, and he had like a relationship with Logitech, and I'm just like, I think it was Logitech, and I was like, how in the world? And you're smaller than me, and so it was really simple. Like in his case, he just reached out, and he had a form letter. He just kind of reached out. But here's what I tell people: if you pick something you like, I like gaming. I mean, 90% of my stuff is gaming related. I like gaming. So what I did, I started talking about things related to gaming, of things that I already had. So I already had a controller, or I've already had a game, or even if I didn't have it, I would talk about the news about it. So putting that out there into the ether, putting that out there to the world, other companies started to see it. And they were like, hey, he's talking about this. I got a thing. We make a controller. Let's see if he'll. So that happens a lot, where they'll reach out to you but you have to put the content out. And I always tell people, they were like, how do you get all this stuff? And like, I wanted to, but I go to their account, they have no videos. You gotta tell people what you like. How did they know? My agent got on me about a month ago because I was like, man, I would like to do we're talking about travel, some other channels. I'm like, man, I would like to do some travel videos. She's like, when's the last time you've done a travel? You talked anything about travel? And I just like, okay, point taken. Like you're not talking about how in the world would a Delta know I want to work with them if I haven't even begun talking about it. So that's the first one. Start it by talking about the stuff that you want to talk about. It will get out there. They may contact you. The second one is just take the leap of faith and contact them. They all those sites have PR emails on their sites. And I've emailed, and I still do it to this day. I'll email and say, hey, I'm so I remember when I started, I had like 10,000 followers, maybe less than that. I was just like, hey, I got a small channel, but I talk about so and so. Can I get a review sample of said product? And I remember the first thing I got was an iPad stand not the iPad. It was a
Mhm.
stand for the iPad. It was the first thing I got, like in 2010, 2011, when I was just getting started. And that was the greatest thing to me. And then from there, I got a relationship with that company, so they sent more stuff, and then it snowballed from there. But the first thing people have to do is do the content. You'd be surprised, Rob. Like you do content, so obviously I'm not talking to you or Bodie or any, but like there's so many other people who see this stuff and they don't do the basics. And that's when I was like, you're asking the wrong question, because you just want free stuff. And the thing is, I know from having a marketing background, none of this is free. It's no cost to me, but they want something in return. They, is the video I give them, or even the Instagram post I give them, the story post I give them, is the value is higher than probably what they're sending. And they know that, and they know I know that. So it's an exchange. So once I just look at it from that point of view, because I don't want to be like, hey, look at me, I get all this free stuff. It's like, no, I have to work for it. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Yeah, when I had a couch sent to me, I'm not gonna be like, no.
It's yeah. Go ahead and make the course on how to get that couch, because that was nice. That was nice.
That was nice. I have been told by some friends I need to make some kind of outline, and I would. You know what? I don't think I would charge for it, because, like Gary Vee said so many times, he said he puts all this stuff out there, tells people exactly how to do it. 95% of people won't do it anyway. Like, you can give somebody the outline, and I've given friends the literal outline. I've written it out exactly how to do, with examples, with emails. Nothing.
I can speak to this part of it. There are folks who want to learn how to do it, and they're few. And there are folks who want to learn how to do it so they can get what they see coming from it. And if the getting what you see coming from it is more of a want than actually doing the work, it's very easy to quit. Because you tell me if I'm wrong on this. You've already said that you use an iPhone, a ring light, a little microphone, and you edit in Final Cut. Things that I would imagine many people listening to this show actually already have. But there's work that is involved in doing the thing. And if you're more concerned about, well, how do I get the thing that the work will grant me, than you are concerned about doing the work, it's very easy to quit, because the bar was so low. I say this all the time. It's like, why do, I am a podcaster, and 1 out of 10 podcasts make it beyond episode 10. One out of 10, 90% will fail before you get to episode 10. And I believe that it is like 50% fail before you get to episode 3. So if you can get to episode 4, you're in the top half of all podcasts. If you can get to episode 10, you're in the top 10% of all podcasts that have ever been created, because most people quit so early. But why do they quit? Because it was so easy to get started. And if it was never your thing to actually build the platform, it was just, well, if I build this platform, this is what the platform will provide me. There's a dislink, or there's a disjoint there that doesn't allow you to do the things when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, I really don't feel like creating a video today, but I need to if I want to, do these things. I'm not saying that you never take a day off, but the days off cannot be more than the days on.
There you go. Yeah. And that's why I answer some people the way I do. And it's not in a crass way. It's very respectful, but it's just like, you're asking the wrong question, like, because there's steps you have to do before. Like, it was years, and I was talking about games for a long time. Oh no, I have a better example. 2015, I started out of fun doing Oreo taste unbox. They had weird flavors. I started doing Oreo videos. People are like, what are you doing? You talking about games and stuff? Why are you doing Oreo or tech? I'm just like, I don't know. It's because they're stupid, and I like Oreos, as you can see. So, but it took Oreo. I think they finally I had dozens of videos out. They didn't hit me up till I think about 2019. I think it was like 4 years or 5 years later. They finally like acknowledged my existence completely. Like they didn't acknowledge me at all. So that happened. But I wasn't doing it to get Oreo to acknowledge me. I was doing it because it was a fun video to do, and it got really good views too. So, again, it's just doing stuff for the right reason. I don't do videos hoping that PlayStation, again, PlayStation is another one. Didn't hit me up for years. But recently in the last year, they've been working with me, make sure I get some of their, cause they saw the results of the stuff I've been doing with other companies. So, but again, I just did it because I like gaming. Point.
The Rob and I talked about this last week when we were kind of reevaluating what this podcast was and who are we still targeting the right people? And you have to have the ability to do the social media. You have to have the ability to do the editing, the behind the scenes, the post production, the pre production. You have to be able to do all of that, especially when you're starting out. Unless you're like Ryan Reynolds or something, you have a team, but you have to be able to do all of that, and that takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And like this morning, Rob was working on this episode, and I was working on social media stuff. And then we come in and we interview, and then we leave. Today, we'll be working on other stuff. You just I don't think people take into consideration, because a lot of people make it look easy, how much time this takes. And I think, Lamarr, you're one of those folks that make it look very easy, but it's not.
But thank you for saying that. It's funny because before I got in here, I was thinking of if you're going to ask a question related to this. One of the most frustrating things I get is the people who find me for the first time. It's like, who do you think you are? How did you get this stuff? You were, and just like you ain't, I know people bigger than you who did, just completely coming in there going off. I don't get mad at it anymore. Yeah. I get frustrated sometimes, but what I realize is like people are looking at you in the moment. They don't look at they don't go back in my profile and say, oh, he's been doing this a decade and a half. That's why, or that I've actually been in marketing, sales and marketing for 10 more years, 25 years. They don't, because whenever how do you get this stuff? How do you get? It's like, and I tell them. Sometimes I've told them in the comments, it's like I've been doing this. I've been in sales and marketing. I've been building computers. I've been in all this since '96. You want to be technical, '94 if you want to be really technical. Working at Best Buy when I was in high school. Sorry, I was in high school in '94. Sorry about that, guys.
So I knew you was gonna make sure you let everybody know that you're younger than us.
So it's hard. So I try to let them know. Yeah, this is just, it's not as easy as it seems, but I make it seem easy because it's gotten easier. But I've done hundreds of videos. I don't even know how many I've done at this point.
When I was counting on the YouTube channel, I want to say it was like 884 that you had on YouTube. That's just YouTube. It's more because
that's just public.
That's just public.
Yeah.
You have way more because, as you said, there's videos that you have that are on TikTok and Instagram that don't make it to YouTube because of the time restriction. So I would have to imagine that you're well over 1,000. I mean,
yeah, and I have several that are private or I've had to take down over the year. Like I clearly hit well over 1,000 on YouTube by itself. But that's crazy to even think about. For sure, like 1,000, and then social media posts, these short form ones. I don't even know. It's just been a lot of content, and I want to keep doing it. I love what I do. I love what I do, and I love that it can sustain a living, which is, it's still weird to me. At my age, that I'm on par in a sense of being able to live off this as some of these kids coming up. That I'm able to do it. So I'm until I'm told you are too old to do this, it's over.
Well, Lamarr, we're going to wrap up with this. I know we told you wanted to keep you 45 minutes to an hour, and I think we're blowing through the hour at this point.
Has it been an hour already?
Yeah, it's been an hour. It's like,
I feel like we could talk another hour or so.
I'm certain that we could. So if you'd ever like to come back, you're definitely welcome. But I want to, just end the conversation with this last question for you. If you had one thing that you want to tell our listeners, a creator that maybe is just getting started, what is the one piece of advice you can say that over the last 15, 16 years you've been doing this, that you would give to them?
Oh, it's going to sound cheesy though. It's going to sound so I'm so serious about this. I just try to have fun every day because life can suck many days. And I'm so genuine and serious about that. Like, This is supposed to be fun. There's work involved, obviously, but I get to talk about things I want to talk about. I'm the boss. I am in control of the stuff I want to talk about, and I can make a living off that. I can't. That's why it has to be fun, and that's why it exasperates me when people get into their like fights about this Marvel and this DC and this Xbox and PlayStation, like getting so getting their heart. I already got high blood pressure. I'm working on it. I don't need it. I don't need it exasperated by it. This is all supposed to be fun. And so if you're not having fun with it, then you got to reevaluate. That's really the core. You can build your foundation off fun. That's the one word I keep telling people over the years. I just have fun doing this.
I think that's probably the best advice, Lamarr, honestly. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on and being really generous with your time with us. I'm sure you have lots of stuff to get done today, so I really appreciate you carving out the hour and 10 minutes or so with us.
Again, I didn't know this felt like 15, 20 minutes. I was expecting more questions to come. This is great. You all are really good at this.
Thanks, man.
So thank you for having me on.
We really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, Lamarr. And as I said, we're going to end right here. But you have the welcome. The welcome light is on. If you want to come back because you want to get something off your chest, or you want to talk about something that's new in the world of being a creator, you're always welcome to come back on Beyond the Post.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
If you're not yet following Lamarr on social media, you should do yourself a favor and start. Lamarr has made it really easy to find him. It's at Lamarr Wilson with 2 R's on all the socials. You can also go to Lamarr Wilson, again with 2 R's.com.
That is the conclusion of our interview with Lamarr Wilson. Thanks again, Lamarr, for hanging out with Bodie and I, and thanks to you, the listener, for hanging out as well. Also, if you'd like to support Beyond the Post, head over to beyondthepost.com/Patreon, where you can become a patron. Members get access to our In Between the Post episodes, exclusive Behind the Post episodes, our private community, and more. Once again, head over to beyondthepost.com/Patreon, and thank you for making independent podcasting possible.